going?
Oh, good. Good.
Feeling better?
Oh yeah, way better. Yeah. I wasn't completely flat out sick, but yeah, I got the Omicron and
Got it enough?
cold, and yeah, it went through my whole family.
All right.
Done and over with.
Well, hopefully you only get it once.
Yeah. They're already talking. There's already variants of Omicron.
Isn't going away, is it? That's
No, it's an interesting thing, but it's a lot milder than the Delta and the original strain. So it's apparently if you have Delta, it's really no protection against Omicron because it's changed so much.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fascinating how fast this stuff goes around the world and mutates and
spreads real quick. And actually, it's nothing new. Like, it's been going on for thousands of years. It's not a new thing. It's just we're understanding it now.
Yeah, we just transmit it so much faster. Like even like Spanish flu that hit the world back in the day, it dragged on a lot longer because it took so long to spread around the world as well. Like where now you can jump on a plane and I could be over your side of the world in a day. Technology is a great and a dangerous thing. How are you settling into the new year? Getting busier or?
Yeah, it's picking up. Yeah. All of a sudden, just over the last week or two, stuff is picking up. Every business is different. Our Linux business is doing so well. And so many leads and new clients coming in that we had to turn off our lead gen.
Oh, right. Nice.
So it's been kind of weird to do that because I'm always working hard on marketing, get more leads. And now we're like, hey, let's turn the tap off completely because we got to get these projects done. And we've hired more engineers, but you can't just hire more. Like they got to get onboarded and fully productive before we add more people. So it's good. But yeah, we're having record months, revenue. Yeah, projects, recurring's up over a double in a year. Yeah, it's coming along nicely, the Linux business. Now we've got to get the Windows business there too. And it's actually all project flow. We realized we weren't actually focusing on it enough. We weren't managing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was really just tough. Stuff was taking forever. And it's like money in the table. So now someone dedicated to watching it and dedicated resource. Remove all the service tickets. Okay, you're doing projects. Let's get these things done. What's in the way? Get it done. You haven't done it before? Okay, do it in the lab. All right, you've done it. Now you're comfortable. Okay, do it for the client. Get it done. So it's that's what we've been working on there.
Yeah, nice. How's TopLeft going?
It's good. Keeps growing. Yeah, we do our demos. We add clients. Keep improving the product. There's always more to do, of course. We're always working on getting that growth up, right? Like getting to the 10x a year kind of growth. That's what we're building. Not there yet, but we'll get there. It's all a question of flow and growth, stacking the growth. Yeah.
What do you reckon you need to do for that in TopLeft? What do you think is what are you focused on building at the moment, capability and marketing wise, and then what do you think is the next plateau above that?
What right now we're building is it's out. So we're looking for beta clients on it, which is the Kanban like enterprise level reporting, cumulative flow diagrams, all the agile diagrams reports.
Yeah, okay.
We've got an integration with a third-party product that just does it. They specialize on Kanban reports.
Right.
So we can send the data over to them and they make amazing graphs. So making that available. So MSPs can get the whole picture of what's going on of their flow, scatter plots and what's hanging around at the different stages in the flow, cycle times. Great things. So we're launching that. And then big thing that's important is the whole user experience for technicians. Because if the technicians are like, they see that some things are missing, they're going to go back to the PSA. So we basically have to have like 90% of the features they need on a day-to-day basis or more. Like almost everything they need on a day-to-day basis has to be rebuilt in TopLeft. So that's what we're working through. And then the experience has to be better than the PSA. It's got to be quick to load. It's got to be intuitive, unified interfaces. We're doing a hackathon in the coming weeks to use some new web technologies and frameworks to make it look way better, and should be quicker to develop in as well, so we can get new features and screens out a lot quicker. So that's the big thing. Is like we've had clients who've canceled, or the managers, project managers are happy, the coordinators happy, service managers happy, but because the techs aren't completely on board, then they're not all singing the same tune from the same page. If techs are still going back into ConnectWise to enter time and look up information and decide what to do next, defeats the whole purpose. So, and we can't just say, well, you click on the card and bring up the ticket in ConnectWise or Autotask. Now they're off back to doing it the old way. So we realize, okay, we can't be saying, go to the PSA, to the web interface. It's got to be native. So we're not something we realized about a year ago. So we added time entries and notes to be able to edit any tickets. And so now we're adding like the ability to create any ticket or activity or even projects right out of TopLeft. Net. So those are the big things.
Do you get many people that use TopLeft that use like Microsoft Project for their project management?
There's some that do. We don't really survey that data or collect those exactly how many, but a big request is for Gantt charts. So that's something with this UI UX initiative in the coming couple months is, can we integrate or be able to drop, because there's actually JavaScript libraries to do Gantt charts. And we have all the data. So can we push it into a charting library to make a nice Gantt chart to make the project managers happier?
One of the big things, like I was talking to one of my clients early in the week. They just got a new project manager, and he already started jumping in and starting to use Microsoft Planner to do a Kanban type thing. They legitimately use Project because they do some big complicated projects that obviously ConnectWise is difficult to manage all the dependencies. And that's one of the things, like one of the things ConnectWise really sucks at as well is that whole scheduling part of all the dependencies of the project tickets. That if one moves, then we need to shift all the rest down the dates and things like that. If that's something you could build as well, you would corner the market with projects.
Yeah. So again, we're already a lot more visual and a better idea of what's going on in ConnectWise. So if we go KTI projects, go share my screen. You see the top left board here? Yep. So we got a swim lane by project. So here's just a new one we started. I was already working on it. And it's a 365 or Azure environment set up. So column for the issue, any issues. Queue tickets, they're pulling that. They got someone ready that we'll be doing next. And then Mohit and Daniel and Ian are working on a few tickets. Right. But certainly any of these could be scheduled. So you could have a column. So I guess they actually don't, if you look in the schedule column, there's not much the actual schedule. Well, here's one for a client. Yeah. So they're doing January 28th. So tomorrow night, they're doing server 2016 to 2022 upgrades. That's scheduled for tomorrow night. So it's showing up here. Yeah, okay. So the column, that's just the ticket status is scheduled.
Yep.
The ticket is scheduled as well. I can see the date and the time.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just, it's in the workflow. We can see that. But otherwise, the schedule, that's where an actual cutover. Like you got to schedule with the client and the users. But otherwise, the idea is to avoid scheduling. It's a pull-based workflow. You grab it as you're ready. And then you're focusing on how do we pull work quicker. So I can grab it. It's clear what to do. I'm efficient, grab it, done, and on to the next. Rather than multitasking and starting lots of things but not getting done, we're going to focus on finishing work instead of starting.
Yeah, which I love. That's the whole problem in most projects, right? So does it at the moment, does TopLeft do anything with the dependencies? So if I'm just going to be a really layman in this and go, well, this one here, this one's a dependency. So if this one gets done, that could be dragged into the stuff that needs to work next automatically.
It does show them. Forget exactly. We actually don't use them often because the way ConnectWise does it, I don't think it's very useful. Yeah. Like it has a field, but it's just one of the 50 fields on the ticket and it's not really visualized. I forget how it shows up. Yeah,
on its own inside ConnectWise, it's absolutely terrible to have it as a field, but I could see in like your sort of system a lot more visual, and if you had some of that automation behind it to go, we've done that, so this is next up kind of stuff without people having to think.
Yeah, there's a predecessor, so it shows it, but none of these tickets have it.
Yeah, because you'd have to actually use ConnectWise to set it up properly, and then I wouldn't bother if I've got no other reason to use it. Okay.
So what we do is if you hover over that field, the predecessor P1396, it'll go and find that card for you so you can see that.
Yeah, okay.
That's all we're doing right now. But yeah, that question came up recently. Stephen does all the sales conversations, and that came up. He's like, hey, how would you hand that with Agile? Because Agile doesn't really define, Agile and Kanban don't really talk about predecessors. That's a real Gantt chart, project management, traditional kind of thing. And I'm like, well, that's the project manager's thing to manage that and then release the work when it's ready. So if those predecessors are done, then release the other tickets. But otherwise, if it's blocked, then it shouldn't go in the ready column because it's not ready to work. So it's a weekly process, or perhaps more often, for somebody to prune the backlogs and If it's ready to go, then bump it up. But there still could be some critical path management going on behind the scenes. It's Kanban doesn't say like you can't do that. It's just Kanban is about the flow, minimize your work in progress, those sorts of things. So I think, you still need project management. Just to dump it all in the backlog and assume your techs will do it in the right order that's a disaster.
I completely agree. You're always going to need management. I just wonder if with the way that you're visualizing stuff, being able to put some automation to drag it into review, like even if it's like we've got a predecessor, it's done, it gets dragged into quite clearly and easily that the manager can review that it's ready to go. That's probably that would be the real exciting part.
Yeah. Again, if ConnectWise can do it with a workflow rule, if you can say, hey, this ticket is no longer blocked, let's move it from this status to that one, then you could still do that as well. The whole workflow engine still runs in ConnectWise.
Yeah, I just can't remember how smart the ConnectWise workflow is with projects, with that kind of thing.
I'm curious. I'm kind of going into a rabbit hole here, but
it could be a very good development path.
Hey, you got to see what we do and what we don't.
Yeah, I like it.
And I guess the idea of Kanban, it's a bit more process and people over tools, because you could be doing it with sticky notes on the whiteboard where it's very low tech. And it's about having the right conversations and the right people have the right conversations and having the tough conversations and sorting it out today. I'm not relying on technology as much. But let me see we used to have a lot of workflow rules and notifications, and we took a lot of them out because you just get all these emails and it's just noise and overwhelm. So we pulled a lot of it out.
My general philosophy is workflow rules shouldn't be there to email somebody. If you're emailing someone, then you've got another people management problem, or it's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, here's one. Predecessor ticket where dependencies enforced is in a closed status. It would have to be done, that ticket. Here's one. Successor ticket has at least one time entry. Predecessor ticket is in open status. So somebody really wants to has complex workflow like that, they could define that. If it's like one ticket a month, I don't think it's worth it. But if it's a common thing with how they deliver the projects, they could update the status. Say, the predecessor is done. Let's move it from some sort of waiting status to a ready to work status.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
There is a lot of workflow rule stuff, but I find it so inflexible, a lot of this. Like you can create some really good stuff if they actually spent some time investing in this workflow engine.
Then the other way is, I guess, if you have a predecessor, you could have a note in there that says, hey, when you're done, make sure you go update this other ticket to grab it out of the backlog and move it to the top of whatever this column. Part of finishing the ticket is, well, let's get the next ticket ready, bumped up. So that could be a checklist. You could have a template that says, when you're done, look for any successor tickets and bump them up.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best way in the short term. It's like get people used to the whole flow, getting people used to the flow and behavior and looking at these things to keep pushing to the next thing that we need to do, get it done.
Then we do show now if there's tasks on these tickets, which I don't think these do, or maybe we're not showing it on the board. Let me see.
You've got ticket tasks on the right column.
You see tasks?
Just here.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. So I'll show that on the project as a whole. Let me go see. Okay, so this board shows the entire project, not the individual tickets.
Right.
Let me see if it shows a number of tickets left on it. I don't think it actually is. There's a lot of old stuff in there. Okay, so we have you can see the percentage complete on the project.
Yep.
The actual start and end. The actual and budget hours.
Yeah, okay.
It's not showing you right now how many tickets are in there or if there's anything blocked or predecessors or anything like that. You can define this so you can drill into the project. Oh, it has to be set up in the board. This is the overview. You see all your projects, which ConnectWise doesn't do a great job on. It's just a list of projects.
Yeah.
And then you can link it to your ticket board. So when you click on that project, it'll bring up that board with all the tickets.
Right. Okay.
And then this KTI project we've got, he's cloned it and there's a people version of it. So instead of a swim lane by project, it's a swim lane by engineer, the board we've been working on in the last week. Yeah, projects that are tickets that are not assigned to anybody yet.
Yep.
And then Mohit's he's got a few tickets assigned. Deanna she's in marketing. She shouldn't really be in this board, but okay. So I can see, so we're getting these projects flowing. So I can see, yeah, Manjotes is our primary project resource right now in that team.
Right.
They're making sure he's doing one at a time, one in progress. That's good. Done. And we're keeping the done tickets. Like normally the stuff that's done, we don't even show. But project manager, he wants to see it. And the other reason is we're getting these new graphs going with Nave. Like there's graphs that look like this. There's, that's the cumulative flow diagram. But then you need to see what's done. So this big color section here is all the done completed tickets. That just keeps growing over time. You never get rid of it. It just sits there. And then you're looking at the variations in the color of, that means like how, from the step from, but this is like a software development workflow, but going from development to code review, you can see how long is that taking on average, or is it sometimes taking longer? Is it inconsistent? So you can, just from looking at this graph, you can determine a number of things on the flow.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So this is available today. And then, the cycle time, there's these other ones, histograms, aging charts, throughput. Yeah, that's what we want, is stable, predictable delivery. Not up and down, not panic mode, not chilled out, just steady, get stuff done, high flow, how efficient we are. You don't want your work going backwards in your pipeline. You don't want it stalling out or blocked or waiting. So that's a bit of projects, and otherwise it's the way you interact with it's obviously in ConnectWise, it's a very similar model as a project ticket versus service. It's just not linked to a project. But entering time. We've got the timer, so you can just start that on any. Wait a second, why is there no timer here? Yeah, you can bring it up and just start your timer and then come back later and enter your time. I thought you could actually keep, so you can have multiple timers going here. So I started it here, so it's going to pause this one, start the other one.
Right, yeah, okay.
And then I can see, here's all my active timers. I can just toggle through them and then go finish my time entry. So if I hit the stop, I'll be like, okay, it's for still, that's the one that's still running. So I can stop it, put in my time, done. Changing your priority, those things. You can drag, depending on the swim lane, you can drag between the swim lane. I don't know if it'll let you do it between projects. Let's not do that with real projects, but it doesn't always make sense, depending, because there's so many types of swim lanes. It doesn't always make sense, but definitely on a resource swim lane, you can just drag and drop a ticket to give it to somebody else.
Right, okay.
Without having to open the project and the work plan and the ticket.
Because that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll see if my client gets in contact with you guys and has a look at it.
And then we do have a partner program. I don't know if we've sent you that agreement. It's like a 2 or 3 pager. And then we pay like a 20% commission for any clients who bring us.
You never. I don't need commissions or anything. You can just get them. Benefit for all of us. If I don't have to try and sledgehammer ConnectWise and sledgehammer people to do it, and you guys succeed and the client succeeds, and I'm happy.
Something Matt's been working on is working with their partners on some joint venture things. So we've got this one now that he's just launched for Agile MSP training with the option of doing some PSA consulting as well.
Right. Okay.
So we do 4 1-hour sessions around the Agile side.
Mm-hmm.
And the partner does some more around PSA setting up your queues and all that stuff properly. So if you're interested in helping our clients with that, then you could have a conversation with Matt. And
we could talk about that.
It may not be exactly this, like maybe there's something that's more value from what you can do for them, but
it's worth knowing about. We can definitely talk about it.
We're not PSA experts. Like, hey, I know a lot from using it for over 10 years now. Like, I can do all this stuff, but I don't want to be helping MSPs doing it. It's not a good use of me doing it. And
you get bogged down so quickly in that stuff.
My time is worth a lot more than consulting for a couple $100 an hour.
Very much so. Very much so.
No leverage. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I feel like it's Plan IT. Going to talk sales to project handoff, weren't we?
Yes. So we talked about sales, pre-sales last time, standardizing what we're doing. I got to have templates. It's a process, not starting from scratch every time. And handing off from sales to project delivery, setting the team up to win. So these are notes I put of how does the project relate to the statement of work, and then different ways of billing it. And then how does it go wrong, I guess. I know the mistake I've made is, hey, I go and scope it myself. So I'm like, hey, here's the 10 things I think need to happen. I put a rough budget on it. I close the deal, get the money, and then here you go, guys. On to the next.
Yeah, with most it doesn't happen like that, does it? It's very much got no communication between the different departments. Sales sells something, projects don't really know what to do, even if they've got a scope of works. There's often important information like deadlines and what did the salespeople actually promise to the client, and then getting billing happening before projects dive in and start working on it, and working with procurement. Yeah, I reckon that'd be the main ones that I reckon are common in this.
So does the ConnectWise project need to relate to what the customer, like need to directly map to what the customer was sold?
Ideally it would, but how it's presented on the proposal as compared to the project plan is obviously going to be different, isn't it? It's a different level of detail.
Yeah, the team might need more breakdown. They may need more tickets. There might be 5 things on the SOW, big things. Here's what we're going to do, but the team needs like 20 or 30.
Yeah, it's a good way to frame it up.